And we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. My name is Joony, and every Thursdays on 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right now in the Eastern Daylight Savings Time, I've been hosting our Ask Me Anything session, or AMA. And tonight's session, as you may know, is a chance for us to get some information out from one another. If you have any information you want to share from your community, of course, that is very welcome to be done over here. And I try to focus on today's event to be a little bit more about K Stadium. So for those of you who are wondering a little bit more about KOK, join me on my Monday sessions, or of course, check out our YouTube channel where this video goes live by searching DA Group K Stadium on YouTube, and you should be able to find our previous Thursday sessions and our previous Monday sessions. For tonight's event, I'll be able to explain a little bit more in detail on how you can calculate, at least in your head, on the reward system that you should be able to get if you participate in K Stadium's community pool. And of course, I will go into the basics of how K Stadium is different than KOK. So again, welcome. And tonight's session is a bit different than the Monday sessions. The Monday session is really just me talking for 45 minutes and perhaps doing some questions at the end. But tonight, as we go along, if you have any questions, we'll specifically have an AMA time, meaning only in the beginning, I'll do a bit of a rant about myself and why I'm doing this. I'll tell you all the updates for the next 10 minutes as fast as I can, and so that I can leave a big chunk of tonight's event to do some Ask Me Anything sessions or any questions you may have from your community. And of course, if you do not, I can try to make the questions myself, depending on all the questions that I get these days. Okay, so right away, let's talk about me. Why am I doing an AMA? Well, this is me, Joony, hosting the event on K Stadium's Play On Volume 3 Rise Up convention that happened earlier this year. And I have been part of various KOK events, both overseas in Korea and here in Canada as well. So my information is definitely, I wouldn't say at an expert level, but for somebody who has done his homework. And I am still participating very much in the K Stadium and KOK community here in Toronto, which is why currently I am at the DA Group's office here in Toronto. So as I have a lot of information that I love to share, but do keep in mind, I am not from the company itself. I don't work there. I mainly am affiliated with DA Group here in Toronto. But from my information should apply to anybody who has any questions about K Stadium and KOK. So just one more time, every Thursdays you can come back for these, and Mondays I do a one-on-one sessions on the platforms themselves. So you can definitely join me back for that, or check out our YouTube. So for tonight's session, let's jump right into it. This is why we're here, because there have been changes between what we've expected or what we have learned or has been part of till now to what is happening today and so on for the future. And these big changes involve these two platforms. One's called KOK or KOK Play, and the other one's called K Stadium. Now, a lot of similarities, but some differences. But what is main point to note here is that though they have different uses and different personalities on the platforms, they are one ecosystem utilizing the same cryptocurrency called KOK, meaning that the ecosystem of both KOK users and K Stadium users and KOK Play users are one and the same part of the community / part of the protocol economy that we're making. So let me jump into a little bit detail about why these changes occurred. We were very well aware, or at least we tried to learn a lot about KOK Play, which is the app that a lot of you have been utilizing, have been part of for a while. And KOK Play had two separate functions. The left side, as you can see that I'm trying to explain. So one of the functions is to create an ecosystem of digital platform users, people who are willing to watch digital content, consume digital content, to be part of an ecosystem of people who are willing to create and sell. And of course, the platform that creates that the digital content sharing to be part of that community as well. And instead of these platform economy models, it tried to create a more decentralized approach and a shared value approach for the people part of this ecosystem. And to create this shared value approach, KOK Play had one other aspect called POS, or proof of stake model. And this proof of stake model allowed people to participate in this ecosystem, in this community, to increase value of the platform and the user itself and the value of the token that is being mainly utilized in KOK Play. And that kind of turned into an investment opportunity for a lot of us. And we took off this POS functions, and the simplest way for us to really understand it, and I use the word simplest in a very light manner because it wasn't simple at all, but the POS function was really the investment opportunistic side, where we thought about it as in we can stake in or be a stakeholder of a certain part of the amount of the chain. That value could be $300 or more, and we could get a certain percentage back. Let's say 4%. At one point, it was even 12%. And there was even a referral system where you can get 100% of what your referee is making in their POS. And depending on how many people you had, there was like different level-based ranking. Well, all of that is going away, but it is definitely good to note that this is what it was. But what's happening now is that we are taking this POS investment opportunistic side along with a little bit of an MLM vibe. We're taking all of that away and splitting it into two. So that KOK Play, the platform that I wanted to be an ecosystem of digital platform users, can be just that, while people who are more than willing to be an investor and see this as an investment opportunity for this ecosystem can participate in doing so in K Stadium. And together as a whole, they work as an ecosystem. And what I mean by that is in the investment opportunistic side of K Stadium, the investment you put in is KOK, and the investment that it takes out or puts out or gives off is also KOK. They use a different investment system rather than POS. It uses a system called DPOI, which is very similar to a DPoS system or a delegated proof of stake system, but they use a model called delegated proof of investment, where you delegate part of your investment, or you prove that you have delegated that investment into a group, a decentralized autonomous organization, or a DAO. And once you participate in this DAO, congratulations, you are now part of the community pool of K Stadium and taking part of the investment opportunistic side of the KOK ecosystem. Now, even for me, that was a mouthful. So let's try to break this down a little bit by a little bit at a time. But before I get into the explanation of how the investment opportunistic side works, wow, a lot of the words are not being juggled out of my mouth today. Well, before I explain that, let me try to break it down into the most simplest way and then build up from there. So the simplest way to see the changes is we have two apps, the KOK Play app that we used to know, and the K Stadium app that we also have to make an ID and a password and create. So we have these two apps, but these are the big differences that you can see upfront right away. In KOK, currently as an investment side, you can see a 4% monthly return rate on your original proof of stake or your proof of stake investment. Right? Well, on K Stadium, that number is higher. It's at 7%. And the model that KOK Play was using was trying to divide out or share the already set finite amount of KOK tokens at a slower and slower pace as time goes down, which is why it started as high as 12% and has been gradually slowing down all the way to 4%, just like the coin burning effect that, let's say, Bitcoin has. Well, right now it's almost 99% all mine, which is why it's so extremely hard and slow to mine Bitcoin right now. So that is why in KOK Play, that 4% is actually gradually going to be smaller and smaller until they deplete the mining process. And this is why the next step of this ecosystem is K Stadium, as it's starting at 7%, but the number of the percentage being returned in a monthly rate is only going to go up. And I'll explain to you how that is possible later. But these are the hard facts. The KOK Play's interest rates are going to drop, not right away, but slowly and gradually, while in K Stadium, it's going up. And something else to note is that the KOK Play, your investment or your POS is based on a US dollar value, meaning when you go into your mining asset and check out, there's a wonderful US dollar value written there. But that US dollar value, of course, is based on the platform's US dollar value of KOK, not the market. And when there's a big discrepancies between platform prices and market prices, that's when the confusion hits a lot of us and the worries also hit a lot of us. And in comparison to that, K Stadium, their investment is based on the KOK quantity. So it's not based on a US dollar value of the token/coin now, but it's based on the quantity that you initially put a DPOI or delegated proof of investment in, and then what it returns in 7% is based on the KOK quantity. So one more time, that means that in KOK play, because that 4% is based on the US dollar value, it's sensitive to market fluctuations, but in K Stadium, it is independent to market fluctuations. No matter what, it's based on the 7% of what you've put in. So let's say you put in 100 KOK, it will always spit out 7 KOK, 7 KOK, 7 KOK, while on the left side in KOK play, depending on the value of KOK, the amount of KOK that it gives off is different depending on the price. So how is it possible that in K Stadium that these numbers of 7% is only going to go up? To understand that, we have to understand the community pool. The community pool means that you have pulled in or taken part of the community of investors in K Stadium. Now, again, K Stadium and KOK are from the same organization, same KOK foundation, same part of the ecosystem. Do not think of it as different, but think of it as one side is more of the contents platform now, and the other side is the investment platform. Because sooner or later, we'll have people who are only interested in investment, people who are only interested in the content, and people who are invested in both. And because of that, they have created this opportunistic side in a separate way. Now, let's think of a scenario where the contents platform that KOK is trying to be has more and more users. And what I mean by that is they can do three things. One, they can create more attractive contents in the platform to attract users, or they can have a wonderful free referral system, which is going to be implemented very, very soon. And three, through that free referral system, they can actually get an incentive to join, such as $100 value of mileage that they can utilize in the platform. Now, those three attractive things are definitely going to increase user growth. So what happens if users grow? More people are paying gas fees. Before, when the KOK token was a token, literally by name, it was borrowing the technology from Ethereum. And because it was borrowing the technology means every time we transacted or did anything on the network, we had to pay gas fees to Ethereum in Ether. But now, as KOK is becoming its own coin, the KOK coin means it has its own main network, it has its own ground chain, which means now the transactions, the gas fees are not being paid to an outside company, but to KOK's ecosystem itself. Those gas fees are being paid. One more time, what else happens when the number of users grow in a contents platform? Well, think of it as in like Netflix. As more and more people join in Netflix or more and more people join in YouTube, the more users, the more people see an investment opportunity or a sales opportunity inside that market of users. So more users mean people who are willing to do business to those users will want to come into the KOK ecosystem. And we call that decentralized applications because they'll be entering our decentralized blockchain world. And as they enter, guess what? As more and more of those decentralized apps enter, they will also pay their fees in gas fees, all of it in all of these gas fees in KOK. And this is the point. This KOK that is being gathered from the many, many users in the contents platform and the D apps that are coming in are not being all taken by the foundations themselves, but recirculated into K Stadium. So the people who have invested on it gets to take advantage of those many gas fees, transaction fees that the KOK Foundation will take, and then it'll be redistributed to people who have participated in the community pool. And of course, added to that is also the inflation supply specifically stated in the white papers on how many those are every year. Okay. Again, that was quite a mouthful, but I hope you're following me along so far, meaning many users from the KOK Contents platform will allow gas fees to be gathered in KOK, and all of that gathered KOK is redistributed in people in the community pool. Now, that means if you participate in K Stadium's community pool, you are now participating in an ecosystem of DPOI participants. And you can either be stadium owners or SOs, you can be the coin holders, or you can be the investors, or all three at once, of course. And as you are taking part of K Stadium, this is what you can note. The first part that I mentioned to you that is being redistributed to everybody inside K Stadium is inflation coin supply. As a blockchain based cryptocurrency goes out into the market, some of the coins are lost, some of the coins are burned. And because of this loss of coin, there needs to be a makeup amount of inflation coin to match the inflation, or to match as the time progresses of all the coins or tokens lost. And this inflation coin supply is set. I believe the number, I can't think of a top of my head, so I don't want to give you bogus information, but it is, of course, all stated on kstadium.io. This number is set because, of course, we got to talk about finite amounts, unless we can just create an infinite amount of KOK coin. That would be implausible. So this inflation coin is being recirculated to people who are participating in the community pool / K Stadium. What else is being redistributed? The transaction fees I just talked about, the gas fees, all of that being taken and redistributed into people who are participating in K Stadium's community pool. What else? Investment rewards, meaning when D apps enter, they have to buy in to enter. And what do they buy in? They buy in KOK. And all of that KOK, again, is being redistributed into K Stadium. So all of that KOK coin, from inflation coin to transaction rewards or gas fees to investment rewards, is being redirected into people participating in K Stadium. And currently, right now, as of July 7th, as we're in the open beta of K Stadium, which you can participate, people are receiving their rewards in KOK only from the inflation coin. And only from the inflation coins, we're seeing numbers of 7%. So that means without having their gas fees activated just yet, without even having D apps paying their investment rewards in KOK just yet, we're seeing these numbers as 7% rate. Right now, though, if we think about when the gas fees turn on and when more and more inflation coin supply goes on, you can see how the added number will keep going up and up. And this is what I meant, that the percentage value of the monthly reward investment is actually will go higher, not lower. I hope you're following me on so far. And you can only imagine what kind of numbers we'll see really when the gas fees turn on. So then at this point, you might ask the question, hey, Joony, okay, I'm interested. I want to understand what do you mean by 7% or 9%, and what do you mean it could go up? How can I actually do this math myself? You got to tell me straightforward. Is it 7% or 9%? Those could be pretty big differences. Okay, I got you. The reason why I can't really give you a straightforward answer is because how the percentage is based on. And to understand that, I'm going to try to put it as simple as I can. So let's go back. Let's say you have participated in K Stadium's community pool. Okay, so you've participated on it. That means you are participating on receiving the KOK coins back because you have invested, or you've at least delegated your POI to a node. And what I mean by that comes very soon. But again, you're part of the community pool. You'll be receiving your KOK in rewards. Now let's think about how we can calculate our percentage. The first thing to note is the basic reward, meaning let's say all of the KOK that is being divided out to K Stadium, which either comes from inflation supply, gas fees, or investment rewards, out of all of that, let's say that is 100. 70 of that, or 70% of all, is called basic reward and is given out to anyone and everyone, meaning as long as you are participating in the community pool, not depending on whose node you're in. So if you know my next step, so not depending on that, as long as you're in part of the community pool, you get 70% of what is being redistributed. The next point is ranking reward. The next 20% of the pie, the 20% of the pie is only given to people who have participated in the top 12 nodes. What are nodes? What are blocks? Why is it called a blockchain technology? Well, block producers are the node producers. They are the nodes. They are the SOs. The SOs is a naming that we use in Case Stadium alone, but the more general term will be node operators. And node operators are the ones who are actually in charge of the decentralized autonomous organization that I talked about earlier, where you are investing in, where you are delegating your proof of investment to. So those SOs, I will show you a list of them, but depending on whose you go in, if you are part of the top 12 nodes, you receive the rest of the 20% of the pie that is being redistributed that day, let's say. But I said top 12, but what if you're on the second versus the 8th node in terms of ranking? And I'll also show you how those rankings work. But there should be a difference between which nodes you participated. Yes, there's a 33% difference between the first node to the second node, and then another 33% difference between the second to the third, and another 33, so on, so forth, so forth. So meaning you want to be on the top 12 and also on the higher nodes to receive more of the 20% ranking rewards. Confusing, I know, but let's get confused even more. The rest of the 10% is called block reward, and this is only given out to people who've participated on the top 6 nodes. Meaning, out of the ranking, if you participated on the top 6 nodes, you receive of the rest of the 10% that is being given out, let's say, that day. But this one is not based on ranking. It's divided equally into 6 parts to people who participate on the top 6. So if you're doing the math in your head, good for you. I can't. But what is best to note is you want to be part of a node that is on the top 6 and as highest as possible on the top 12 to get as many KOK possible. But what is also interesting to note is how many people are in the node, meaning the more people that pie has to be divided into in your group. Meaning if you go into a group that has 100 people, and let's say that node is on the top and receive 100 KOK, versus you go to a lower ranking node that only has 10 people, but they receive only 20 KOK to distribute amongst themselves. Technically, you get more on that lower ranking node with less people involved. So this is something that is why we call this DPOI a strategic investment opportunity. Definitely not a mindless one to do. So these nodes are listed in Case Stadium as such as this. The rankings are on the left, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The ranking go ups and downs, and they'll explain to you. And the rankings are based on voting power, not based on interest rate, based on voting power. What is voting power and how do they get voting power? You give them power by investing in them. When you invest in a node or an SO, stadium owner, you give them SOP. What is SOP? Well, if you go into your wallet in Case Stadium, you'll notice there's a line right underneath KOK. KOK and SOP have a one-on-one relationship. You can convert KOK into SOP, but you cannot convert your SOP back to KOK. In other words, any KOK that you convert into SOP and delegate into the SO can never leave the system. In other words, investment that you put into an SO stays in the community pool. However, it does not need to stay in the same group, meaning you can move your investment around, but you can only stay in the community pool. And every time you move around, there is a fee involved. All of that is explained in the white papers. So one more time, lots of SOs, and depending on ranking, different percentages of rewards. And those rewards are based on the chart that I just showed you on the previous page, which was this, right? But one of the main things that was important here was their rank of the nodes. Are they first, second, third, and fourth, or sixth? The top 6, of course, gets the most out of the pie. So without thinking how many people are in these nodes, let's just think, how did it get to this top 6? It depends on voting power. And voting power is how much KOK or SOP has been put in that one node in total. So that number is actually the first number that you see when you come into K Stadium. At the top, it says community pool number. And I think today we're at 101 million KOK already. And that percentage, let's say it's 24.68. So 26.48% of the 101 million KOK is in this node. And that is how they gain ranking, because you have given them voting power by giving them SOP, Stadium Owner Power. And Stadium Owner Power is basically the coin that you exchange or token you exchange from KOK to give them power to do so. And if you are very keen on blockchain technology and you're very keen on K Stadium, yes, you'll notice that I did mention exchange. So yes, I do mean there are gas fees involved every time you would do that. Absolutely. Where are those gas fees going? To the foundation? Nay, back to the community pool. So I hope you follow me along, because that was quite a lot. So it's 10:30, half of my time. This has been the explanation of how to understand K Stadium's dividends or interest, or how money is being calculated out of here. Of course, there are some more changes to the KOK Play platform itself. For example, the KYC authentication they'll go through, and the $5,000 staking limit for the POS for KOK Play, and the 200% mining reward limit that stays on KOK Play, and increasing the mining limit with mileage and referring new users. And every time you refer new users, you get $100 worth of mileage. So all of those changes have been announced in the platform. You can definitely read about it. It's all written there. But the point that I want to make here is that these changes are happening to KOK Play, which seems a bit more restrictive, especially not being able to stake beyond the $5,000, and there's a 200% mining reward limit. The mining reward limit, or the reward limit in K Stadium, doesn't exist, meaning it will continuously give you back that part of what you have invested on, depending on the voting power and ranking power and where you have participated in. So I hope you have lots of questions with that, because I as best as I can do to be self-explanatory, there's still a lot to explain. So I would love to get into the AMA session. And before I get there, I do have a questions about, we're going to go through about if you participated on the first or second promotions, and what if you didn't, what should you expect, and what's next. But before we get there, let us ask now, are there any questions on the table? It is an AMA. Ask me anything, and I'll try to explain as best as I can from what I know. So any question, guys? You can definitely type it. You can also raise your hand and I can unmute you and you can talk to me, and we can definitely try to answer each other's questions, hopefully. Any questions? I see a hand. Wunderbar. Yes, Miss Crawford. Amazing. Happy to see you. Oh, where did I put you? Oh, sorry, I pressed the wrong button. I'm going to ask you to unmute. Here you go.
Okay, can you hear me?
Oh, my music's still on, eh? 1 second.
Okay.
1 second.
No
I
problem.
can hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. My question is, and I hope I'm asking this correctly. So when you get to the part of choosing which node you want to join, am I
You're on the right part. You're on the right node.
Okay. So, but can the SO or the stadium or the owner of the node, stadium owner of the node, can they refuse your membership? Like if you want to join them, can they say, no, we have enough people, we don't want any more frontiers, because it's going to further divide the return on.
A very good question. I completely understand what you mean. And I'm actually surprised you're asking that question, because that means you've been doing your homework. Very good understanding of how that works. The answer is no, they cannot refuse. As in, because remember, you could be in your room and delegating 1 KOK right now, or 10 or 20, 30, and it's all your choice. It is no longer a way of thinking where, okay, I have to create a so in K Stadium, at least, it's where you should think of yourself as an investor, and you are investing in a node that you seem fit. And of course, as an investor, you have to think about your returns. But though I did say these numbers will vary depending on which node you went into, we're not talking drastic differences. There are minimal differences and differences that could change day by day. So best thing to do, from my advice, because all the node owners or the stadium owners have not specifically said what strategies they will take or what they will do, is for now, hang on to your best decision, or hang on to your one decision, go in there, and then later, if you want to diversify your portfolio, or definitely find a node that you kind of tune into and can agree with. For example, Dream Achievers DA node, where they do lots of sessions just like this because they believe in the idea of sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge, sharing the assets to everybody in the world, literally. So if you really tune into that, then join us at DA. And no, we cannot refuse.
Okay. All right. Good to know. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? You did. So if you don't have any other questions, I'm actually going to refer to the case for you, Tuanda. Is you did mention that you received the email for your first or second promotion that you applied to. Great. Awesome. If you haven't received it, check your spam box. If you've applied for the second promotion, you should have gotten it 2 days ago or 1.5 days ago. So definitely check. If you didn't get it, let's talk about that. But before we do that, any other questions about K Stadium, KOK, life? Don't do that one. I'm kidding, please. Any other questions? Wow. Okay. Maybe I was. Oh, okay. Homesky. I'm going to unmute you, my friend. You are
sir, may I ask some question?
Of course.
Like me, as a new member, I have received the second promotion as a new member.
One more time. As a new member, you received the second promotion. So you're
Yes,
a new member to KOK Play?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
New member, sir.
And then did you participate on the second promotion of the asset transfer?
If God will, sir.
I'm sorry. So you participated on the second promotion?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nice. What's your question, my friend?
I'm interested.
Interested in the second promotion?
Yes, sir.
Ah, I see. Well, many of us are and were. Unfortunately, the second promotion time has already ended. So they did their first and many people missed it. So they said, we're about to do a second one, so get ready. So they did their second promotion and they closed. So are they going to do another third promotion? I'm not sure. So that's something that I will talk about. So if you didn't participate in any of the promotions, what should you expect and do? I will definitely talk about that on the next couple of slides. So hang tight. Omski, do you have any other questions? No, no other questions. Okay. Alex asks, DA Group in what position is at? Nice grammar, buddy. Let's go. I'm checking for you, Alex. DA right now in voting power-wise is in 15th place out of 18. Not a great place, but let me tell you, this race hasn't started yet. If anything, if you've been in tune with K Stadium, you would have noticed that 2 days ago, it went from 60 million KOK in the community pool to 100 million KOK in the community pool, which means in one day, 40 million KOK poured in. And guess what that was? Whoa, what happened to my screen? I lost my screen. Oh, there we go. And what was that? That was actually all the SOs putting in their KOK from their asset transfers, meaning the asset transfers are working. They did the SOs first because they were all the really large, biggest chunks moving in there, 40 million. Unfortunately for us, for DA, which is Jane's node, she missed that window because this meeting for the asset transfer for the SOs happened in Korea, and Jane's here with us in North America. And that really puts the point about DA node. It's the North American node. It's the only great node here in Canada and to represent North America to give you support in English. But of course, this has its perks and its downsides. And downside is when Korea decides to do events where they have private events for the SOs to move their asset removal first, Jane being here in Canada is not the best thing. However, once a lot of people under Jane's line from KOK Play enter DA node, this ranking will change very, very abruptly. So keep an eye on it if you have doubts about DA, but I wouldn't. I hope that answers your question, Alex. Any other questions, my friends? No? Okay, then I'm going to get into the idea of question number 1 for myself. And if you have any other questions, raise your hand and put it onto the chat, and I'll answer it after I go through this question, which is, what should you expect if you participated on the first or second promotions? Good for you. Amazing stuff. So the first and second promotions allow you to move your asset from KOK Play without terminating your account. And in the first promotion, you can even choose how much to move to K Stadium. Now, what to expect is this. So let me log into my account. Great question, Janice. That's exactly the question I wanted to see today. Very good, very good, very good. Let me log in from my phone and then show you what I'm talking about, guys. So what I was saying by myself was, as you can see on the announcement when you open K Stadium, this is in regards of people who have participated in the second promotion. If you've made a mistake or there's an error on what you've entered, they're giving you a time to fix that error between July 6th to July 12th. You would have received an email where they explain what to put in to which form. That form link is on that email. So check your email. If you haven't received that email, but instead you've received an email that says your second asset promotion asset application has been registered fine, you are good. You are ready for the next step, which I'll tell you what that is. Okay, but let me explain to the people here who are also lost in what actually they should expect when all of this is done. When all of this is done, it means the assets in your mining current asset exchange asset here, this funds, 100% of that is going to move away, meaning this will become a big fat zero. Okay, which means at that time, if you were to receive any 4%, you'll have to restake here. My best guess is at that time, there'll be a restaking limit to $5,000 as they said there would be. So be prepared for that. And only if you have room there, you can receive the KOK daily rewards and the monthly rate of 4% in here. Comme ci, comme ça. Okay. So hang tight, Nelly. Great question. Hang tight. Let me just get through this. So one more time, the funds will move from here into K Stadium. That will become a big fat zero and it'll go to K Stadium. Let me log in. And how would you be able to check? And this is assuming everything went well. You go in here, you go to your wallet, and then you'll have SOP here, meaning those funds will be divided by the number of KOK tokens. So not in US dollar value. It'll be given to you in SOP and sit right here. So how to understand what number to see? Well, it's whatever US dollar value you see divided by 7, because it's right now at $7 in the platform, right? And that's the number of KOK that is being sent to SOPs. You receive it as SOP. Why? Because you will put that directly in the community pool. Remember, those assets will not land as KOK, so don't be confused. It's going to receive as SOP. And I'll create a video on how you can move SOP to a node such as DA. And I did that last Thursday, so it's actually very simple. Once the SOP arrives, you can do it by going into an SO, choosing DA node, for example, and pressing delegate. And this is what we did last week with me. And you can see the rewards that I've been claiming here. Awesome sauce. So maybe I can show you guys that at the end of tonight. So that's if the first and second promotion has worked and has finished. You should see that transfer to here. That's what to expect. However, This hasn't happened to anybody yet except the SOs. Okay, so if you're still waiting on the first and second promotion, you should have gotten an email. Check your spam box. And then what happens if you did not get an email? What should you do? Okay, definitely do not erase the screenshots you took when you sent the application in. Okay, and what I want you to do is this. Go into K-Stadium. This part you might want to maybe jot it down somewhere. If you are one of those people who did not receive an email, you check your spam box, you didn't get one, you're part of your first or your second promotion, you didn't get anything. Okay, this is what I want you to do. I want you to protect yourself from not losing this opportunity from the promotions. Go to K-Stadium, log in, go to the top here, press your settings icon, and then scroll down and you'll see support. Yes. Press support. It will take you to a Chrome or a browser page to this site, help.kstadium.io. This is K-Stadium-based Customer Service Center, or CS. And here you need to sign in. Now, you might be confused. This is K-Stadium, so I'll use my K-Stadium ID and password. Nay, this is a separate website for customer service only. You'll have to create an account if you haven't done so already. I have. It's a simple procedure as typing in your email. And I think this is me. Oh, that's not my email. Is that me? I hope that's me. Typing in your email and go away. And logging in. So those are not my emails. There we go. And sign in. Nope. Do I remember my password? I don't. Is it this one? Okay, imagine I signed in. Okay. Oh, I can just show you here. For one of my clients that I'm helping out. So let's say I signed in, boom. That sign-in sign changes into a logo here to represent myself. And you can go into my activities, but what you would need to do if you did not receive an email, press this 3-line here, the hamburger or the menu button, and type submit a request. Boom. Okay. Write your K-Stadium ID. Okay. Where do you find that? You go to K-Stadium, and then it's the second line here, your K-Stadium ID. Write that down there. Go to other or problem or question. It really doesn't matter. And on the subject line, write didn't receive confirmation email and explain your story here. Hello, my name is Joony. I participated on the first promotion or the second promotion, but I didn't receive any email. I want to know what's going on. And if you still have the screenshots from what you sent in, attach them here. If you didn't, that's okay, but try to recover them somewhere. So I want you to submit that ticket so you can leave proof that you've requested them, that you have done this before. Okay, please do that step for me. And then we'll wait for step 2. And then step 2 is wait. Right now we have to wait. The big step 2 that everybody's waiting on for people who received an email or didn't receive an email or didn't receive anything is the answer that you'll get from CS is wait for our website to go live. They're going to create a website. As you saw on KOK's announcement today, and for many, many days, the top announcement. Qu'est-ce que c'est? No. Oh, that's new. Information reapplication. So if you see here at the bottom, it says, the promotion of the first and second mining asset transfer will be carried out after confirming the application details and obtaining consent on the final confirmation website. So there's going to be a website they're going to make. We'll be able to go there and check that our information that we've applied with is there correct or not. So my best guess is this website will allow you to check if everything has been done right and you just didn't receive the email, or you didn't receive the email and you can't even find it there. Then we really got to go to the customer service and let them know, hey, you lost my application somehow. We got to fix this. And it will take some time, but I'm pretty sure they will honor it. But to do so, leave some proof, make a claim, submit a request now, please. Okay. So again, all of this video is going on YouTube. So if you didn't really pay attention, don't worry. I'll put it up on YouTube. Hopefully it's recording fine. Okay, so I think now I can get through some questions because I did answer some of the questions, which was Janice's questions. What if you participate in the second promotion, but I have not received any email? What should I do? Janice, this is what you should be doing, as I said. Okay. And then next question is, can you explain more about what happened to our 200% in our cumulative revenue in our KOK apps under mining that if and when we decide to transfer 100% of our KOK to K Stadium? Okay, yes. I think I understand your question. What is this new thing? Oh, I see. They're long story. Very good. Check that out, that story of the original KOK. That's a pretty cool, fun story too. So, but let's not do that for today. You can definitely check that out yourself. I'm going to go with Nelly's question. I think, Nelly, you are asking about this number here. And Nelly, if you're still here, please confirm. Nelly, yes, no, perhaps. Okay, well, Nelly, if you're not here anymore, I'm still going to answer your question. Yes, perfect. Thank you very much. Okay, so Nelly, so what Nelly is asking everyone is that she wants me to explain what happens to the 200%, meaning remember these numbers represented the first number here before the slash represented how much interest you've already received in KOK in US dollar value. And this number here was a 200% or twice the amount of your POS or proof of stake investment or your current exchange asset. It's twice the amount. Some of you might have a little bit higher amount because you've been getting mileage bonuses, which maybe have altered that number by a bit, but don't worry, it is usually the 200% of that. And that's what Nelly's asking. What happens if this current exchange asset goes to K Stadium? It's going to become zero, right? What happens to this number? My best educated guess, Nelly, is that this will also go to zero. As in, you will not, because this represents 200% of your current exchange asset, right? But right now you're moving that investment value over to a different platform, to K Stadium. So you will no longer keep this 200% room and it will go to zero. So then if you put $5 in, it'd be $5, $10, $100 in, $100. Oh, sorry, $200. So it's basically like you're almost restarting your account. That's what's happening. So some people, because they like this KOK Play app and it's 4%, they're leaving some money in their wallet here so that when it switches over, they will put this. So when the mining asset becomes zero, they will put this into, so it's $120 worth, and they'll put that back into mining. So I'll put 120 and it'll say 240. That is my most educated guess of what's going to happen, Nelly. I hope that answers your question. Elizabeth asks, oh, then what happens to the mining bonus? You're getting 4% of that. So for me, for example, let's say it became zero and I had $120 in my wallet. I put $120 here. I get 4% of $120 per month. That's what happens. But remember, the asset being transferred over to K Stadium, you're getting 7 to 9% of that over there in terms of coin value. And if you participate in a promotion, you're getting extra coins, maybe even 50% extra coins. So it's definitely a lot more there. The math is sound. I've done it many times for people. So don't worry, you made the right call. But yes, that is what happens, Nelly. Again, I hope that answers your question. Elizabeth asks, can I participate in community pool if my account is terminated, but I left my funds in KOK platform? Yes, you can, Elizabeth. That means you did not participate in the promotion and you can't, but you can definitely at any point in time right now, move this funds, the funds in your wallet. So instead of taking it out to, let's say, KuCoin and cashing it out into your local exchange, you can send these funds to your K Stadium account, which is how right now myself, I have some amount. Like for example, you'll see, hey, Joony, I see that you got like $9.82 KOK in there. How'd you do that? Well, that's the method that I'm about to tell you, Elizabeth. But to do so, you need access to a computer and you need access to MetaMask. And I will create a video on how to do that. It is not a very intense process, but you do want to use a computer as a step between, because when we move KOK out of the KOK play, it's a token. We will put it into MetaMask as a token. And then we'll send it to a bridge for K Stadium where it changes that token into a coin and puts it into KOK. So we need a middle ground, and that middle ground needs to be MetaMask. But unfortunately, not MetaMask on your phone, MetaMask on a computer. So again, I'll post a video with that. So definitely get onto our YouTube channel. Again, go on YouTube and type DA Group K Stadium, and you'll see our videos. Subscribe to our channels, and it should go up there. And I'm hoping to do this weekend when I have some free time. I've been very busy. Next question. Angel asks, after July 11th, the compound interest in KOK will continue? Ooh, qu'est-ce que c'est compound interest? Do you mean the 4% mining profit? Yes. Yes. What about the 100% referral profit that you get from your referees? You get 50% of theirs now. What about the level bonuses below those referees? You don't get that at all. That disappears after July 11th. And July 11th is the most anticipated date that that's going to happen. So if you are one of those people that has mining profits plus, let's say, referral profit and level profit, the referral profit will reduce to 50%. And the level profit will be gone. So I hope that answers your question, Angel. Alex asks, is there a time limit to transfer a partial amount from KOK to K Stadium? C'est quoi? Is there a time limit to transfer a partial amount from KOK? What do you mean partial amount? Remember, if you can move any amount in your wallet right now, there's no time limit. You can do that now. You can do that later. You'll be able to do that. I'm pretty sure. Yes, you can do it now. But is there a time where you can move this KOK in here? You cannot anymore partially. You'll have to terminate your account and do so, which is what is in the case for Elizabeth. Yeah, so she still has funds in her wallet here, right? When you terminate, it comes over here and you can move those, and you can move part of that if you want, of course. So Elizabeth, I hope I answered your question, and I hope I answered your question, Alex. Taegyeon, you ask, any specific timeline on KOK price adjustment versus market price? No specific timeline. My best guess is July 11th. My best guess. Yeah. To how much? I do not know. They haven't announced it, which means it's not a set thing, right? But my best guess is that will happen. Would it match market price? I don't think so. That's not going to happen. Will it be lower? Yeah. Will it be higher? I don't think so. Would it be lower? Most likely, yes. So I hope I'm giving you answers again, but unfortunately, there's no specific thing set out. I've looked everywhere. There's no information. So I don't want to lead you guys in the wrong direction for now. But my best guess is July 11th, and it's going to go down. Those are my best two guesses. Ulysses, you ask, you're welcome. What about your level profits in KOK? Will you still continue getting even if you move your 100% asset to KOK? No. Level profits stop regardless. You participated on first or second promotion. You will no longer get those. I hope I answered your question. And if that takes you by surprise, please, please, please go onto your profile. Oops, not your wallet. Go onto your profile, go to announcement, and read some of these announcements, especially the latest ones since June, okay? They explain that those are going away for sure, okay? What's exciting for KOK Play, though, is that the free referrals are kicking in, meaning you can make an account, stake nothing in there, and they will still give you an invitation code that you can share. And with an invitation code, if somebody creates their account using your recommendation code, you and them both receive $100 worth of mileage, which you can spend onto the platform which you can put into your mining, which you can exchange it into KOK, right? So that's going to be hot. And actually, it's already taking place quite a lot from what I'm hearing, because apparently they announced that you can start creating free accounts now, and then we'll match the $100 later on. And I'm guessing that later on is July 11th. Oh my gosh, it's 11. Great question, guys. Thanks so much. When will you post this training video? Janice asks. Hopefully tonight, but most likely if you're on my time zone, like tonight, like at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. tonight. So I hope so. I still have a lot of videos that I have to catch up on. I apologize. I've been so busy, but I will try to post this. So definitely before next Monday, 100%. I will do my best. A lot of lack of sleep these days. Will you still get your recommendation profits when you move your assets to K Stadium? Compounded questions. So what I mean by that is, okay, this you need to understand. As I mentioned before, let's say you move 100% of your current asset, right? If you moved 100% and after you went to the website and you confirmed that website hasn't been up yet, don't worry guys, but when that website comes out, let's say you moved it, this will become zero. When that becomes zero, you cannot receive anything from the bottom. I don't think so. That makes no sense to me, right? So you'll have to stake in to receive some. That is my best guess. Again, that's my best guess. So to be safe, friends, to be safe, if you participate on 100% of that, to be safe, leave some KOK in your wallet, okay? Leave some. If you receive a large amount per day, I told you, you'll receive 50% of what you used to receive as recommendation profits, right? So the number will change, that will come up. And what you get, you can of course restake up till 5,000 US dollars for sure. Okay, so that you can do. So definitely think about those things. Okay, and so I hope I answered your question. Will you still get your recommendation profit? Angel asks, both people going to receive 100 US dollar KOK for free members, me and my refer friend. Careful, Angel. 100 US dollar worth of mileage, not KOK, mileage. Okay, but yes, both of you, $100 worth, $100 worth. What can you do with mileage? You can exchange it into KOK. Yes, you can. You can exchange. So they don't give you KOK right away. They give you mileage first, because when you exchange something, what do you pay? Gas fees, right? You can spend it onto the platform to watch the contents. The contents have gotten a lot better, guys, for sure, a lot better. You can watch the contents. You can pay KOK with that, or you can use mileage for that, or you can put it into your mining asset, your mileage in here to grow your mining pool. For sure, you can do that. So there are many things you can do with 100 US dollar worth of mileage. So Angel, to both, but not US dollar in KOK, 100 US dollar worth of mileage. Next question, Joony, if July 11 KOK mining asset would stop? No, 4% will go on. But remember, you need to have room to get that 4%. If that becomes a big fat zero, you're getting 4% of 0% of $0. That's zero. So at least have something in there to receive that 4%. And you need to have that room to receive the interest from below. I'm pretty sure that's how it works. Alex says, to move from KOK to KCM, do we need to use recommendation code that we had when we signed into KOK? There is no recommender code for K Stadium. So no, Alex, K Stadium is just you. There doesn't matter who you're being recommended to in K Stadium. In KOK, it does for sure. In K Stadium, there is no recommender code. Tuanda, please get some rest. Oh, thank you. Yes, I'll try. I'm trying to stay healthy and as alive as I can so that I can last long. It's been crazy time. So thanks, Tuanda. So where the referral fee going? ¿Qué pasa? Referral fee? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Referral rewards? Okay. It goes in here into your wallet. I think that's what you mean, Dina. It'll pull in here. It'll come up like mining profit or referral profit here. It'll still pull in your wallet, but my best guess is you need room to receive that. It'll go in here. It'll go in here as it used to be, just 50% less than before, because everybody's reward is being cut to 50% for referral rewards. Okay, so it's the same thing, just less. This is why a lot of people are moving to K-Stadium. Angel, what's going to happen with the accounts in KOK Play that have more than 5,000 US dollars? It will stay as what it is. They're not going to reduce it. It will stay as what it is. Great question, Angel. So if your mining asset, let's say this account, for example, it's far beyond the $5,000 limit, right? So it will stay as that. You will not be able to restake, meaning you cannot buy KOK and put more in here. You won't be able to move KOK from your wallet to restake it. You won't be able to do that anymore. So remember, we can do this right now. I can go on mining. I can go press this button here at the bottom, mining, and then I can add my KOK that I have in my wallet, right? And then put it in here. Right now I have 17 of them. So I can say, okay, put it all back in there. And I can press confirm. And then boom, deposit it. And my mining reward just went up by that 17 KOK. I can do this now, right? Oh, I probably shouldn't have done that. I can do this now. But if you're $5,000, you're above the $5,000 mark, you won't be able to do that. So how can you increase that? Through mileage, through referrals only. Okay. If you're below 5,000, you'll be able to do that up till 5,000. Okay. I hope that answers your question, Angel. And my friends, I love all these questions. Why were you so shy in the beginning? There's always like a 20-minute shy period. It is 11:09, my good friends, and it is time for me to get started working on tonight's video so that I can put it up. So I will bid you guys good night. Thank you for joining me. Definitely check us out here at DA's Nodes. And let me share my other screen. Zoom meeting. Where are my controls? Here we go. Share my other screen. My Zoom code is always the same. You can definitely check us back on Monday nights. Okay. You can check us back on Thursday nights, same time, 10 p.m. You're very welcome, guys. I will try to bring as newest and hot information as possible. If you have any questions during the week, save them, man. Save them for Thursdays. Bring it to me and I'll try to answer you. My email is up on the screen as you can see. Can you see? Oops, let's go back. So tokfrontier@gmail.com. It's at the bottom. It's a bit, there we go. You can send me an email there. As you can imagine, I don't have a lot of free time because I'm very, very busy doing all of this at the same time. And it's just me in one hand juggling everything. So please excuse me if I don't respond to you right away. Join me on Thursdays and Mondays. Check out our YouTube channel. I'll put our YouTube channel page. Is it this one? Yes, it's this one. Go here. Subscribe. I'm not selling you anything. Please just do it so that whenever I make a new video, ding, you get a notification saying, hey, DA Group has a new video. And if it's an English video for tonight's session, there you go. You have access to it. And if it's about something else that I've made, you have access to it as well. So I'll try to post new information as much as I can. So, and if you have people around you who are part of this and they don't have time to join us, definitely send this link to them. It's free to watch. And I'm not trying to sell you anything. Just please do it. Let's become a community. Let's become that protocol economy together, share value and add value to one another. And with that, I will bid you good night, everybody else. Ulysses, you gave me a last question. I'll try to answer that. The problem with all of this changes that KOK management did is that they do not give proper training for us to fully understand what or how all this movement will do to our investment. If we get to understand these things, a lot more people under me and myself could have taken the opportunity to move out investment to K-Stadium. Okay, I understand your frustration, my friend. I know. Guess why I'm doing this? I agree with you. This is exactly how I feel as well. There's not a lot of information out. So that's why I'm saying, hey, free Zoom code. Please send it out to everybody around you. Join me, listen to my videos, join me, listen to me, ask me questions. I've been doing that as much as I can. Yes, for sure. The Q&A for today will be part of the video tonight that I've recorded and it'll go up. So Ulysses, I understand your frustration, my friend. This is why I'm doing this. I agree with you. It is really our job to do our homework. And as you can see, how do I know so much? Because I ask, I spend that time to get to know and understand. I test it out. I try sending 10 KOK, see what happens. I try going into case study and see what happens. I'm doing that. Not a lot of people are willing to do that by choice, or you just don't have time. I understand. So please try to spread my video, spread the love, spread the information, bring the questions in so that we can make this problem less and less. And, I welcome you to join us and become part of your community leader to give this information to everybody else. Okay. Okay. So Ulysses, again, with that, for now, good night. I understand your frustration. Come back, my friend. This is what we're trying to do it. Good night, everybody. Let's do it. Fighting. Okay. And I'll see you guys Monday. Ciao, ciao.